Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, saya adalah Dr. Lee Sigit Suarjono, MPD. Saya dosen yang berhome base di pendidikan bahasa Inggris di Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas Muhammadiyah Kota Bumi. Dan saya juga adalah dosen di Pasca Sarjana, yaitu pada prodi Magister Hukum di Fakultas Hukum dan Ilmu Sosial di universitas yang sama, yaitu Universitas Muhammadiyah Kota Bumi. Saya sebagai dosen UNKO Universitas Muhammadiyah Kota Bumi pada prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris telah mengampu beberapa mata kuliah, yang utamanya adalah Intermediate Writing, kemudian Introduction to Linguistics, Phonetics and Phonology, Morphology, Morphology, kemudian Advanced Speaking, juga English Proficiency, Psycholinguistics, dan beberapa mata kuliah keprodian pendidikan bahasa Inggris. Dan dalam kesempatan ini saya ingin mengajar salah satu mata kuliah utama saya, yaitu Intermediate Writing. Mata kuliah ini, Intermediate Writing, itu memiliki bobot 3 SKS dan merupakan mata kuliah wajib yang harus mahasiswa tempuh sebagai mahasiswa pendidikan bahasa Inggris. Kurikulum dalam pendidikan dalam mata kuliah ini adalah kurikulum OBE atau Outcome Based Learning, Outcome Based Education, dengan capaian pembelajaran, capaian lulusan meliputi 4 ranah, yaitu sikap dan keterampilan umum, keterampilan khusus, dan pengetahuan. Nah, pada ranah sikap yang utama, ini ranah sikap ini menunjukkan perilaku taat pada Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, kemudian menginternalisasi nilai norma dan etika akademik, menunjukkan sikap bertanggung jawab atas pekerjaan di bidang keahliannya, serta menunjukkan kecintaan terhadap ilmu agama, teknologi, dan ilmu pengetahuan. Sementara pada ranah keterampilan umum, ini siswa mampu menerapkan pemikiran logis, kritis, sistematis, dan inovatif dalam konteks pengembangan atau mengimplementasikan ilmu pengetahuan dan teknologi yang memperhatikan dan menerapkan nilai humaniora yang sesuai dengan bidang keahliannya, dan mampu menunjukkan kinerja mandiri bermutu dan juga mampu bekerja sama. Pada keterampilan khusus, siswa diharapkan mampu atau terampil berbahasa Inggris secara lisan dan tulisan, dan mampu melaksanakan pembelajaran bahasa Inggris dengan menerapkan pendekatan metode dan teknik yang sesuai dan memanfaatkan teknologi komputer dan informasi. Dan pada aspek pengetahuan, mahasiswa diharapkan memiliki pengetahuan dan pemahaman tentang linguistik dan tataran linguistik bahasa Inggris yang meliputi fonologi, kemudian morfologi, sintaks, dan semantik. Juga memiliki pengetahuan dan pemahaman tentang teori, konsep atau pendekatan, metode dan teknik, serta strategi pembelajaran bahasa Inggris sebagai bahasa asing. Capaian pembelajaran mata kuliah ini yang pertama adalah mampu menggunakan kata dan kalimat yang tidak bertentangan dengan ajaran agama dan bersikap sopan kepada teman dan guru. Kemudian yang kedua, mampu menunjukkan sikap kemandirian dalam tugas-tugas yang dibebankan dan tidak melakukan tindakan menyontek ataupun copy paste dalam mengerjakan tugas-tugas. Juga mampu menunjukkan sikap menerima kesalahan dan komitmen untuk memperbaikinya. Capaian berikutnya adalah menunjukkan sikap sering mempelajari atau mengkaji ilmu agama yang berpegang pada nilai-nilai ajarannya, intens dalam perguruan penggunaan IT, dan menunjukkan sikap pengayaan literasi, mampu menggunakan pemikiran logis, kritis, sistematis, dan inovatif terkait tata bahasa Inggris pada tingkat intermediate, mampu menyelesaikan tugas yang dibebankan kepadanya dengan baik dan secara mandiri, dan mampu menunjukkan kekompakan dengan tim dan memberikan gagasan-gagasan yang solutif, mampu mengembangkan tulisan esai yang sesuai dengan prinsip, koherensi, dan kohesi, mampu menginterpretasi esai dan menganalisis kesesuaian dan ketidaksesuaiannya, mampu membedakan antara fragmen dan kalimat dan mengidentifikasikannya dalam sebuah tulisan. Demikian kira-kira terkait mata kuliah Intermediate Writing. Sekarang mari kita bersama-sama untuk melihat pembelajaran Intermediate Writing di kelas. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Sir.
And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Are you fine?
Fine.
You're doing fine. So the best condition is being healthy. If you have lots of money but you're sick, it's nonsense. Even though you have trillions of dollars, but you have to lie down in bed, you cannot do anything. What can you do with the trillions of dollars? It's nothing. So being healthy is the best condition you have to be thankful for to our God. And today, because you are healthy, I'm healthy, so we have to be thankful to our God, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. And today we're going to learn a new materials related to writing. In previous semester, you learned paragraph writing. And paragraph writing means you have to write a paragraph. And in paragraph writing, you have to understand that there are three components or three elements. The first is topic sentence. The second is supporting sentences. And the last is concluding sentence. In essay writing, the same way has to be applied, but the name is different. In essay writing, you have to have introductory paragraph, in which in the introductory paragraph there has to be a thesis statement. A thesis statement is somewhat like topic sentence, something that you have to develop better, something that you have to discuss, something that you are going to talk about in your essay. And then we've got the body paragraph that may consist of 1, 2, 3, 4, or many more paragraphs, but at least one paragraph of body paragraph. In the body paragraph, you have to discuss this. Please come in. Sit down. You're late. Okay, sit down. So in body paragraph, you have to talk about what you state in the topic sentence or in the thesis statement. And then the last will be concluding. I think it's okay if you sit here, darling. Dear, why do you have to move back? I think it's better to sit in the front row. And in the concluding paragraph, you have to conclude what you have already discussed. Let's see here. And today we're going to discuss comparison and contrast essay. Comparison and contrast essay, also called as compare and contrast essay. From the name, compare means to compare two things, right? When you compare, it means there will be at least two. You cannot compare one thing, right? You have to compare, at least you have to compare two objects, two persons, two things. Then you can compare. For example, you compare this guy and this guy, but you cannot compare this guy with no guy. That is not a comparison. So compare and contrast means after you compare, you also contrast. It means you have to find the similarities and the differences of the two things, the two objects, or the two persons that you compare and contrast. Let's just see. Okay. So comparison and contrast essay. Can you read what's your name? Stefano. Devano. Okay, please read.
A comparison and contrast essay, also known as the compare and contrast essay, is a type of academic writing that involves analyzing and comparing referring to or more subjects, ideas, concepts, or objects to identify their similarities and differences. This essay format is commonly used in various academic disciplines and is an effective way to develop critical thinking skills, enhance understanding, and communicate complex ideas to readers.
Okay, now let's see here. So comparison and contrast essay, also known as compare and contrast. It means comparing and contrasting. Is a type of academic writing that involves analyzing and comparing two or more subjects or objects, ideas, concepts, or objects to identify their similarities and differences. So, well, basically, you can either compare and contrast the similarities, or you can either compare and contrast the differences. I'll give you an example. But from the similar idea, for example, when you compare, do you know elephants? Elephants, right? But in the world of, in zoology, or the study of animals, elephants basically are not always the same. We have Asian elephants, we have African elephants. So basically you can compare something that looks the same, then you find the differences. Elephants are elephants, right? African elephants, Asian elephants, they are elephants. They are the same. But there must be differences. So you can say elephants and blah blah. Elephants are the largest animal on earth, for example. Or you could say the largest animals on earth, on land, is said to be elephants. Basically, elephants in the world have varieties. The most notable elephants are African and Asian elephants, for example. African and Asian elephants look the same in many ways, but actually they have some differences. Okay, you see? So in this case, this is the thesis statement. They have some differences. So what are we going to discuss here? What are we going to discuss? The differences. So the most notable or the most noticeable difference between the African and Asian elephants are the size, for example. While African elephants is larger in their body and leg, also etc. Asian elephants, in contrast, is smaller. So you can compare the differences. And later, when you combine the differences or the similarities, you can have some methods. Later we will talk about the methods of how you compare, bagaimana you compare the differences of the similarities, whether you have to talk A, B, A, B, A, B, or you talk about A and then you talk about B. For example, you talk about African elephants until you finish about African elephants, and then you talk about Asian elephants. Or you can talk about African elephants compared with Asian Africans in certain, in particular thing. For example, while African elephants has a large floppy ears, Asian elephants has smaller and stiff, for example, stiff ears. So it means you directly compare the two things. And then we talk again about other things. African elephants also have darker skin, for example, darker skin compared to the Asian elephant, whose skins are a little bit whiter. So you talk African elephants, Asian elephants, African elephants, Asian elephants. Or you talk about African elephants all until you finish all the comparisons and the contrast, and then you talk about the Asians. So you talk about A, B, A, B, A, B, or you talk about A, and then B, 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 B. So that is actually the method of comparing and contrasting. Now see here, here's a breakdown of the key elements of comparison and contrast essay. Now, as I told you that in paragraph writing you have three elements: topic, sentence, supporting sentences, concluding sentence. Topic sentence will be contained in the introductory paragraph that is called the thesis statement. So the thesis statement is in the introductory paragraph. And then supporting sentences will be body paragraph. That is the discussion of the thesis statement. And then what is the last? There will be concluding paragraph. In paragraph, I think there will be concluding sentence. Now see here the introduction. How to make an introduction? What's your name? I forget what? James. James Bond. Okay, James, please read the introduction. How we make introduction?
Start with catchy hook to grab the reader attention.
Okay, start with catchy hook to grab the reader's attention. It means that the starting sentence or the first sentence should be interesting, so the reader is interested to read the next. Okay. Next, James.
Provide some background information on the subject being covered.
Provide some background information about the subject being compared. Yeah, background information. If you talk about elephants, you've got to give background and information about elephants. How do you give background information about it? This will be related to your knowledge about the subject you are talking about. If you have no knowledge about the subject you talk about, then it's going to be difficult. You have to search. You have to find information, more information about the subjects you compare. Okay, and the last, present
a clear thesis statement that's the main point you will be comparing
and contrasting. Okay, so this is thesis statement. This is what is called in paragraph writing called as topic sentence. So as I told you earlier, that after you begin some introduction and background about the subject, then you mention, however, African and Asian elephants are different in many ways, for example. So then you see, you state that African and Asian elephants are different in many ways. So you have to talk about in what ways do African and Asian elephants are different. Another example, you might see, you might have twin friends. Do you have twin friends? Or you see twins, right? Have you ever seen a twin? Okay, twins look exactly the same sometimes, right? Very similar that you cannot distinguish who is A, who is B. Which one is A, which one is B? The first is Anna and the second is Ani. And they look exactly the same to your eyes. How? But actually, every human being, every single of you is different, unique. Never exactly the same. So you can actually talk about Annie and Anna are twins. They look very much similar. So it is difficult to distinguish which one is Anna and which one is Annie. If you do not know them well, you cannot distinguish them. However, Annie and Anna actually have some different characteristics. Now, then it means you are going to talk about the different characteristics between Anna and Annie. The first, most different thing about Anna and Annie is that Anna always liked spicy food, so that she often buys rendang or pecel or anything that tastes spicy to satisfy her stomach or her mouth, her hunger. In contrast, Ani or Anna, okay, a second, likes something that tastes a little bit sweet, like Japanese food. So Ani often buys what is gudeg, Japanese food. Okay, so it means you directly compare Anna and Ani. But if you want to talk about Anna first, or until you finish talking about Anna, it's okay. Anna likes spicy foods, and so she often buys Padang food and etc. And during the weekend, Anna likes to go out to spend the day of going to the beach, etc. Doing outdoors activities. And during the night, Anna often watches TV, spending her time watching TV, so she often goes to sleep quite late. In contrast, Anna or Ani? We talk about Anna, right? So Ani likes something that is a little bit sweet, like Japanese food. So she often buys gudeg, etc. On Sunday or during the weekend, Ani often spends her days reading novels, reading books, playing games on her smartphone. And during the evening, so the same things that you compare, Sunday foods, weekends, and then evening. You talk also the same thing, but different, right? So that is basically how you compare and contrast. A, B, A, B, A, B, or A, B, 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 B. So that is how you compare and contrast, the method of comparing and contrast. Okay, let's see next. Why? Okay, body paragraphs. Yeah. So body paragraph is like supporting sentences. This is the discussion. Each body paragraph should focus on a specific point of comparison or contrast. Focus on specific point. What? For example, weekend activities. Okay, weekend activities. Anna likes to spend her weekend doing outdoor activities, or going to the beach, or going to the movies. While Ani likes to spend her weekends at home, reading novels or books, playing games on her smartphone. So this is a specific thing, or specific point. Begin each paragraph with a clear topic sentence that introduces the aspect you're discussing. Yeah. So you can talk about what you're going to talk about in the body paragraph, like weekend activities, evening activities, okay, or anything else. And then use evidence, examples, and analysis. Examples, as I told you, Anna likes spicy food, right? Spicy foods. For example, so she likes to buy Padang foods to satisfy her taste, selera. This is example, like spicy food. Also, we say Anna also likes to spend her activities, her weekend doing outdoor activities. She likes to go to the beach. This is examples. She also likes to go to the movies, or she just likes to go play around with their friends. These are examples of how she likes to spend her weekend doing outdoor activities. So support with some examples. When comparing, highlight similarities. When contrasting, emphasize differences. So, what similarities? What are the differences? You have to emphasize the differences, and you have to highlight the similarities. It means, for example, when you highlight similarities, then as I told you, in many ways, or you can say physically, Anna and Ani look very similar. They both look beautiful. They like to wear the same clothes. They also like to grow their hair long. So these are similarities. But when you talk about the differences, you have to emphasize what is different. And then maintain a logical and coherent structure by organizing your points effectively. So you can use a point by point or block method. What is meant by point means you talk about A, B, that is point by point. And then you can also use block method. Block method means block A, and then B, block method. So this is what is called as point-by-point comparison and contrast, and block comparison and contrast. You see that? You understand? Okay. All right. Now let's see next. After this, you're going to have to do some assignment. What is point-by-point method? I already told you, right? Do you want to ask a question about point-by-point method? No? It means, I'll do it again. Point-by-point method means you talk about A and you just compare it directly with B. And then you talk about A again and then you directly compare with B. And then you talk about A again, you directly compare with B about the differences. But then, when block method, you talk about A, everything about A. You have several points about A. Anna likes spicy food, and then give examples. Also, during the weekend, Anna likes to do outdoor activities, give examples. And during the night, Anna likes to spend the night watching TVs, like to spend the nights awake, for example, watching TVs, etc. Then you talk about B. Ani likes sweet foods, buys, she likes to buy Gudeg, etc. Anna likes to spend her weekend at home, reading books, watching, maybe playing games on her smartphone, etc. A, B. Clear? Okay. And the last, that will be conclusion. This is called concluding paragraph. When you conclude, in the concluding paragraph, you may only give restatement. What is a restatement? A repetition of the thesis statement. Pengulangan thesis statement tadi. But in a different structure or in a different wording. In the thesis statement, you say, however, Anna and Ani are different in many ways. Then your final in the concluding paragraph, you can only say, although Anna and Ani are very much alike to our eyes, but they have many differences. Not the same word. Anna and Ani are different in many ways, but they have many differences. So actually only restatement. Or the second, it is not a restatement, but it is a summary. Summary? You understand summary? So, although Anna and Ani physically look the same, but they have some differences, like their weekend activities. What else? Their evening activities. Or what else? The way they, what else? Yeah, weekend or, yeah. So summary, what you have to do, but it is not a long version, only a short version, only the points of the differences. So I'll read again. You may have a restatement, or you may have a summary, or you only put a final comment. Final comment. So you can have final comment. What is final comment? Your opinion. So actually, people, every single person is different. That is final comment. Every single person in the world is different. Not even one is the same as others. Exactly the same. That is a final comment. Or the last way, this is the best way. You combine, you may have a restatement and a summary, or you may have a restatement and a final comment, or you may have a summary and final comment, or sometimes if you are very good at combining them, you can combine all of them. Restatement, summary, and final comment. For example, a combination look like this. Although Anna and Ani look similar physically, but they are different in the way they spend their weekend, in the way they spend their nights, okay, and etc. And so every single person in the world is actually different one from another. And so in this concluding paragraph, you have restatement, summary, and final comment. Is that clear? Now, before you begin writing with this, now let's see first. You've got to make a group in 3 or 4. I think 4 will be enough to discuss this one. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so the following essay consists of 6 paragraphs. 6 paragraphs. So there must be at least 1 introductory paragraph, 1 conclusive paragraph, and 4 body paragraphs, or maybe 2 introductory paragraphs. I do not know. Now let's see here. Unfortunately, you cannot see all the paragraph from. Okay, I'll send it to your smartphone. Because here you cannot see clearly, right? You cannot see clearly from here. But let me tell you first what you need to do. Okay. So this 6 paragraphs is actually a unity of an essay about comparison and contrast essay. But the paragraphs are not well organized. Maybe the introductory paragraph is not at the beginning, maybe at the end. Now what you have to do is to reorganize. Which one is first, which one is second, which one is next, etc. Which one is the concluding paragraph. You see? You understand? Now I'll read again. What you have to do is to reorganize the paragraph. So the introductory paragraph will be at the beginning, and then the concluding paragraph will be at the end. And the body paragraph is also have to be well organized. Which have to come first, and which has to come next, etc. I'll send it to your smartphone. So you are in group. Okay, I've sent it to the group. Work in group, and then you have 10 minutes to decide which has to come first and which has to come last, which have to come in the middle. Okay, 10 minutes. Please work in group so you can discuss. Maybe you can just make a circle. Yeah, I think you can have these boys become group 1, and then the girls in the second row will be the second group, and the girls in the third row also the third group, and the last Group consists of 6. Oh my. Okay, it's okay. But maybe you can help. So it is easy to discuss. Yeah, I think you make a little circle so it's easy. You don't have to make a paper. I think you have to need to write the alphabet, okay? A first, B, because the paragraph is marked with A, B, C, right? A, B, C, D, E. Which one has to be first? You read the paragraph. Maybe the order will be B, C, A, D, F. I don't know. Okay. You just need to discuss and put the order, the alphabet order. Paragraph A, maybe the second. Paragraph. Which one is first? Maybe B, C, D, E, or B, D, E, F, A, C. I don't know. So you have to read and then understand it first, okay? The most important thing first is to find the introductory paragraph. If you cannot find the introductory paragraph, it's going to be difficult to determine which is to be the next. I think it's not going to take 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes will be enough for you to find, to reorganize. Are you done? Are you done? Not yet. When you are done, tell me, so we'll discuss it together. And so now, you have something to do for your home assignment. Okay, home assignment, and you have to submit it next week. So when we first start our class, we will discuss your assignment. What is your assignment? Then you have to compare and contrast Indonesia and Malaysia. Indonesia and Malaysia. What is the same about Indonesia and Malaysia? Indonesia and Malaysia are both members of Asian, you know Asian? Southeast ASEAN. What is that? Association of Southeast Asian countries, right? ASEAN. So both are members of ASEAN, and both speak almost the same or similar language, Bahasa Indonesia and Melayu or Malay. But you have to talk about differences. You understand? So you may talk about in terms of the government system. Indonesia is a republic, for example, while Malaysia is, what is it? Kingdom or kerajaan, right? Kerajaan or kesultanan, I'm not sure. So you talk about the differences between Indonesia and Malaysia, or you can also talk about the similarities. Okay, is that clear? Okay, we'll see you again next week, and get prepared. And it's, I think it's an individual work, an individual work. Next time we will give a group work, but this time you have to do it on your own. Okay, individual project. Well, have you got any questions about our class today? Do you have any questions, guys? No? Okay, so we're clear enough, okay? And then we'll just meet you again next week with your individual project, and see you again next week. Goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.